I hear these later, you know?
Okay, we're recording.
I don't know, I'm weird. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay. I feel like probably started for a few different reasons. Um, One reason is I've always been into health and fitness, and I feel like I followed a lot of coaches. So before I started, I was approached by a few different coaches, and then it was something like when Natalie reached out, it was just very natural. And like she said, she's never pressured anyone to say, you have to do this. And so that was really nice because it was kind of like at my own speed. I was able to ask questions and didn't like feel threatened. Um, and so I was already working out, but I'd gotten to my goal weight like a while back. And so it was nice because when I joined the first challenge group, I could start seeing just more definition and muscle and, more energy, things like that. And then being diabetic, it helps like the long-term goals of that. I remember my first like adult endocrinologist appointment, and I walked in and held open the door for a small busload of people that had to be bussed in because they were either were amputees or legally blind and couldn't drive themselves. And so it was really eye-opening, just being diagnosed when I was 4. And, you always hear like the same things at the doctor, take care of yourself and watch your blood sugar readings. And that was like something probably when I was like 21 that was really eye-opening. And I was like, okay, like this, all the bad things and the eating cookie dough crazily, like all that can play effect later. So just being in the challenge groups has helped with that. And I think that it can help other diabetics as well that go through the same struggles and blood sugars dropping or being super high and you don't want to work out or things along those lines. And then like the last component of it would be that I love traveling all the time. I travel for work and always pick out little like local restaurants that I need to go back to or campsites I want to visit and hikes that I want to do in the area. And so just if my like blood sugar readings were out of control and I have to have my foot amputated later, that would like crush everything that I love to do because I love hiking, I love biking, I love kayaking, walking my dogs, anything outdoors. And I always tell my husband, I'm like, we're going to be like the most fit people when we're 90. We're still going to be hiking. And so I think just like long term, that would be my why.
Anyone else want to go next?
Lindsay, that's so powerful. Just want to say my boyfriend's a diabetic, and I'm gonna like make him watch that.
Yeah, it's that first appointment was crazy, and I think like I've never wanted to be focused on diabetes, like with certain things. I'm like, oh, I just want to be normal. And I think when you start digging in and talking to people, it's like, wow, you don't like pass away because of diabetes. It's all the effects that come along with it. So do now to save later.
Thank you for sharing, Lindsay. Anyone want to volunteer to go next?
I can go
next. Oh, go ahead.
All right, love it, ladies.
Okay, so kind of my why. Before I started in my first challenge group in January, I was really into health and fitness in high school. I played volleyball for like 9 years. And then I went off to college for 5 years, and that all went downhill. There was no focus on health and fitness whatsoever. As much as I tried to work off all the pizza and booze that I drank and all that, that never happened. And so getting back into it in January was a huge goal for me. Doing 80-day obsession was to get back to the shape that I was in before I started college, which I did after my second round of 80-day obsession. I felt like I was back to my normal self and feeling better and looking better than I had been in college and all that. And then starting coaching, it helped me with my accountability and keeping myself on track and all of that. And I really didn't, when I first started coaching, it was kind of because of the discount. And I was like, meh, I'll maybe hit Success Club here and there and maybe run with it, but not really sure about it so far. And just being a part of the team calls, because the first couple team calls that happened when I was a coach, I didn't jump onto because I was like, I'm a newer coach. I don't know if I want to be on it, all of that. But once I started getting into it and seeing everyone reaching their goals and the potential of what could happen and all that it started to click for me, and realizing what I could make with this business. And one of my big whys is to work towards being financially free, because I don't know if anybody else knows, but I'm in early childhood and I love what I do. Absolutely love working with kids. But for anyone else in early childhood knows that there is no money involved in that field whatsoever. And they don't tell you that when you're in college getting an early childhood degree, that you're not going to make shit and you're going to be living at home when you're 2 years out of college still, because the money blows. So it kind of, working as a side business right now has helped with paying off student loans, because I have those as well. But kind of my biggest why is working towards being financially free. I don't know if I would ever fully leave the early childhood field, but definitely working shorter hours and being able to work at my own pace, essentially. And yeah, that's kind of my why right now.
Love it. Lauren, you want to go?
All right, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany asked me I think it was almost a year ago, to be a coach. And I thought, why not? I didn't really know anything about it. And I decided to do it. I don't think I lasted even like a month, maybe. One, because I was super anxiety, stressed out, didn't know how to handle it. And then I was progressing in my at my work, and I got offered a promotion. I was going through, criminal justice is my background. I just graduated from grad school and stuff, and I was doing really well. And I was going through an extensive background and got offered a promotion. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to focus on this. Like, anyone that's ever been through an extensive background, it sucks. If you ever applied for a law enforcement or anything, it's a lot of stress. So I think I was just overwhelmed, and my why was not there at all. So move forward to January. I had about 4 days left at my old position, and then I was going to move forward. And I was fired with 4 days left. I just moved. I ended up in the hospital 2 days later. I had a crazy allergic reaction, so I was on some medicines for like this stomach thing. And so just everything, like my world kind of crashed down in January. And I was in like this really bad like point where I was like, I finally had my life figured out, and then it kind of just halted. And I kind of turned to 80 Day Obsession when it came out, because I was still following Brittany and Carolyn and all these other coaches that kind of had popped up on my feed when I first started. And it was always really motivating to see that. So I was just like, I have Beachbody on Demand. I'll get into it. I'll just do it by myself. And I started doing it, and it just, it kind of takes your mind off of all the negative. And that was really nice. And then I think Brittany reached out to me or something and asked me if I wanted to join a challenge group. And I was like, yeah, I might as well get back into the accountability. That's always nice. I was kind of in a better spot a couple months later. I was feeling good, found a new job and everything. And things had settled down. And then I was always thinking, I'm like, I can do this coaching thing, watching all these girls. I'm like, and I think understanding and seeing all the other coaches I was following, it gave me a better idea of what it was and what it entails. So I think it gave me a little boost of confidence that I can do this now. So, and I think my why really is to do it for me and build that confidence. And, I want to be healthier. I want to be fitter. I ran track in college for a little bit. I was always really athletic, and that kind of went away after a certain point. And I want to get back into that and be healthier and feel better, you know, try to drink less. You know, I love to drink wine and beer and try to get away from that so much. So I think instead of last year when I was focusing on, oh yeah, I can make some extra money, is do this for me. And then hopefully I can help other people by showing them, you know, how I am improving and loving this. And then maybe, you know, hopefully the money will follow. But, you know, I don't think I'm going to try not to focus on the money right now. It would be great. I mean, financially, financial stress is always huge for me. I've school debt, obviously, and stuff. But I'm going to try not to focus on that yet and focus on me and improving me. And then, like you said, hopefully everything will then follow from there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm super excited to have you back, and I know you're gonna kill it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Funny little side note, I actually signed up to be a coach November of some year and was like, I'm going to do it. And then I had a similar thing where I was like, oh, never mind, I'm not going to do that. I just didn't cancel my coach account. So a few months went by, and then I actually did round 2 of coaching. So, you know, those round 2 coaches, it really works out sometimes. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Cool.
So I'm sure most of you kind of know my background, but I started with Beachbody a couple of months ago now, and I think I really got started because a couple years had gone by and I just really stopped taking care of my body, and I wasn't really happy with how I was looking, and I knew summer was coming up, and it was another summer where I didn't want to be embarrassed to put on a bathing suit and whatever. So I ended up getting started with Beachbody, and it worked so well. I went through a 21-day fix, and just after 3 weeks, the results that I saw were so amazing, and I was finally feeling great about myself again. So I think just having that confidence back really kind of drove me to start this in the first place. It was such an amazing feeling, and I knew that I wanted to continue on with it. And so I think my initial why of signing up was to help keep myself accountable to continue and move forward and not stop with the workouts, not stop with the accountability groups. So I signed up as a coach, I think at the beginning of June. So it's been a couple of months now, and I know there's kind of a couple pieces of behind my why. I think the financial piece is another one for me, just because it's always nice. My boyfriend and I are constantly talking about buying a lake house, and he literally looks every single day, but he's like, well, we can't afford this one. And just to be able to have a little bit of extra money, if we were to be able to put it towards something like that, would just be so amazing. But another piece of it, so after I started coaching, the first person I signed up was my sister. And I know she's been having a lot of weight issues as well and not feeling great about her body. And she went through 21-day fix and lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And just how much it has already changed her life after doing it last month. I mean, she's still continuing on. She's even thinking about doing 80-day obsession, when in the beginning she's like, I could never do an hour-long workout, never ever. Now she's like, well, maybe I'll try it. So I think it's just amazing to see her transformation, and that makes me so happy that I was able to help her get to a point where she's starting to feel more happy and better about herself. So I know as I'm continuing on, being able to see those successes in other people is what's really going to drive me to keep moving forward. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Allison.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Heidi, do you want to go? I know you're rocking, so it's up to you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if there's anybody else left going. And I'm sorry if my rocking annoys anybody that I'm constantly moving. But Evelyn Jane, I'm sorry, I'm kind of distracted too. Sorry guys. Sorry.
Oh, you're totally fine. Can I say hi to her?
Who, Evelyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on one sec. My phone was gonna die, so I have to plug it in.
Okay.
Hey.
Why don't I go to Natalie and then we'll come. Oh, hi, Evelyn. Hi,
Say hi.
Steve. Hello.
She's constantly giving that like face. Like,
So
constantly.
funny.
Okay, did you want to go to something else or did you want me to go?
If you can go, feel free. I just didn't know if you needed to charge your phone or whatever. So feel free to go ahead.
Okay, no, my daughter just keeps trying to unplug the charger. So
Oh.
but Brittany asked me to join with her, or I don't know if I kind of said something to you about like your progress and how good you looked, but this was like 6 months after I had my daughter, and she's 17 months, by the way. And I like desperately needed a change because I had gained a lot of weight when I was pregnant with Evelyn, and I was like not confident. I did not like who I was. I struggled really bad with postpartum depression, and I just like needed something for me. So I decided like, well, why not? Might as well do something. I can't really get out of the house to go to the gym. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm stuck indoors all the time. So then I decided to join the challenge group with Brittany, and after maybe like 7 months or something like that, I had lost 45 pounds. And so I knew that it was proof that it works and the system works, and if you stick to it and you press play every day and you do all of that, like it works, because I am proof of that. So I knew that it was kind of like I'm doing this anyways. I feel good about myself, so why not like just show the world what I'm already doing? Like I feel good, I'm at home, I'm doing my workouts. I might as well just let other people know and see if other people want to join me and help out. And plus, being like a stay-at-home mom can be really, really lonely sometimes because I'm talking to walls basically all day long because they don't respond. So it can be really lonely and sad. And so just doing something for me kind of was like a huge why for me. Like I needed something that was worth. Evelyn Jane, please stop. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Just doing something for me was something that I needed to just be happy and be confident. And I want to like show my children that, you know, putting yourself first is a big priority. And then also another one of my whys is, obviously I said I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so my husband works like a lot. And he has to, because obviously it's like impossible to afford life, especially with just one income. So I want to be able to just help out a little bit, even if it's not a lot right away or whatever, just any little bit counts. And so that way he doesn't have to work all the time, and he can be at home with his kids, and he can afford to go do things on the weekends and like have that time together, and he doesn't have to be so stressed about providing for us. So that's like another really one of probably my biggest why is doing that for him and helping out. And so I think just being since I'm already at home and I'm doing this anyways, like why not try and make some money while doing it? Like I'm already going to be doing my workouts and I'm already going to be doing all of that. So just giving myself an opportunity to do something for me and put myself first, and then also be able to help others and help my husband, and all of that is probably the biggest thing that drives me. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you, Heidi. And that's amazing, 45 pounds. Wow.
Yeah, it was rough, but it was so worth it.
You need to be sharing about that because people are going to want to hop on right away when they hear that. All right. Natalie, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you guys have heard from me a little bit, and I'm sure like a lot of you have heard my story a little bit, but when I originally joined last July, I guess I didn't really know why I was joining, to be honest with you. Like I didn't have like a strong why, but I knew that like I wanted more out of life, and I think a lot of that stemmed from like I've been at the same job since 2009. I started there when I was in college. It was a summer job, and they've treated me great. And I came back every summer, had a guaranteed job. Before I graduated, they gave me an internship. I still got paid. I got internship credit, and then they hired me full time. So it was like a lot of a comfort thing. Like I was already knew what I was doing. They like were treating me great. The pay was good. So I continued to stay there. And after like 10 years, which is like more than a third of my life of doing the same thing every single day, it starts to like get really boring. And like I work long hours in the summer, and like my job is like a demanding job in some senses, but I've been doing it for so long that it's like, it does come easy to me. So like, even what I was saying about like the comfort thing, I knew that I could do more, and not that I technically had extra time for it. I knew that like I needed to make time for something because I was just like so dialed into just this job. And, I was working, right out of college, I was probably working like 60, 70 hours a week, traveling, like drowning myself. And like, it's gotten like a lot better from that, but I knew I needed something. I didn't know what it was. And then I started following Brittany because Christian, her fiance, used to work for the company that I worked for. He was a general manager and opened a division in Boston. So I had known him already, and I had seen he had this new girlfriend, and so I was like, I'm just gonna follow her like like a creep. But so I followed her, and I was watching her stories, and I could see she was doing something with workouts and something. I didn't know it was Beachbody, and like I had done Beachbody programs in the past. She would talk about a business opportunity in her stories and her posts, and I'd see these workouts at home, and it all seemed really appealing because I really didn't have that much time to go to the gym, and it seemed like she was like bringing in a little bit of an income. And I was like, okay, this seems cool. So I watched her do that for like probably 3 or 4 months. And then I messaged her and just asked her what she was doing. And she was, and like now knowing like that was like a dream come true, like to have like someone come to me and be like, what are you doing? Can I be a coach on your team? Like, so I had messaged her, and she just said, do you want to know about the business opportunity or about the workouts? And I said, both. I was a cheerleader in high school. I ran track. Like I've always been active, but I wasn't actually like healthy, I don't think. I wasn't getting results that I wanted at the gym, and I was just seeing her stuff. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. Like I've got nothing to lose. For me, it wasn't about like earning extra money at first because like I had a good job. It was more about like adding more to my life. Yes, it added a lot more to my plate because I was, I had to dedicate more time to this, but it's been really worth it for me. So I just decided to dive in, and like now that I've, been in this a full year, went to Summit, like I'm standing up in Brittany's wedding. I met her for the first time in person at Summit, which is like crazy because I used to like think people were so weird when I would like hear stories about people who like meet friends on Instagram, but it's like real. She's getting married in February, so I get to stand up, which is I'm really excited about. I've made some like really amazing friends with this already, aside from like the income and like the personal development and like the other changes. Like all that stuff is like really cool. Like a lot of my friends after college moved away. Like all of my best friends live at least like 800 miles away from me, maybe like 500. So it's nice like having another group of people. Yes, I know like everyone's still kind of far away, but we get to connect every week. Like I don't get to do this with my sister every week or my friends. And so it's really cool just to have that other group of people. And like when you start to surround yourself with more like-minded people, it becomes like your life changes a little bit too, because these conversations that like I have with you guys aren't the same conversations I have with, my college friends or my high school friends. So it's cool to kind of connect with like level-headed, not that they're not level-headed, but people that are on like the same playing field as you. So that's been really cool. But that was the initial why. The why is transformed now that I can see like the income that's coming with this. My goal, like I ideally in the fall want to drop down to like 25 to 30 hours a week opposed to from like 40 to 50. So I can have, solid hours to work this business and really hit my goals with this business, because I know it does take work and I want to pour more into it. Like I'm trying to build a website. Like I want to give more energy and time to you guys to help you guys out. It's like scary to like say that because my work like really needs me. Like I run the company there. So it's always been a fear of mine. Like I feel like I owe it to them to stay there. So it's, you know, taken like personal development for me to realize that it's not about them, you know, it's about me. So it doesn't matter if what I choose to do isn't like the best thing for them and their business, because I'm always thinking about everyone else. So like it's time to think about me, and like if I want my life to be where I want it to be in 5 years, like I can't just keep checking into a job that I'm really good at because it's what I should be doing. They do need me there, and it's gonna be hard for me, but you can still appreciate all the like places you've been in your life and love them and wish that you could do more with them. But there's a point where like you decide, like, do I want to stay here or do I want to do more? And like when you start to see that the people in this business are doing more and that it's very possible, like all of you guys are killing it, like the challenge groups, like the passion I feel for coming home and being on this call at 10 p.m. is not a problem. But like me waking up and going to work pisses me off sometimes because I don't want to be doing that. I want to be doing what I love. So I'm working on my plan for that. But as far as like the team goes, I mean, I want us to be walking across the stage as like a premier or elite team at Summit next year. And we can totally do that. It is a team effort and everyone's goals are different, but what's possible with this business if you just believe in yourself and think about what you want and your why, and like think of yourself. Like I like did an exercise, which you guys could all do if you want. I wrote out like how I feel right now about like things in my life, and then below it I wrote how I want to feel, and I touched on all those same things that I talked about in like the first paragraph and wrote them out again as if I was reading it back to myself 5 years from now. So it was like really cool to see, and it kind of like pulls stuff out of you that you don't really know is there. I shared it with Brittany actually, and I could share it with you guys. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's a cool exercise to do, and like it's scary, and like Sarah said, like she's an engineer, like she's not supposed to do this, you know, like, but she loves it and that's what she wants to do, and life's too short to like wake up and do stuff that you hate. So obviously there's like the reality is like we have to make a living, and like you have to be like logical and smart about it. So I wouldn't say like, oh, quit your job and just do what you want to do, but like if you want to plan that as something that's in your future, like take the actions to make it happen. Like I'm not the person that would ever quit my job or drop to part-time if I didn't know that I was supplementing my income equally, or that I would be okay without that extra money. So keep that in mind too. Like everyone's goals are different, but that is something that I'm planning to do in the fall. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out or what's going to happen, but I'm going to do it in some way, shape, or form. That way I can like do what I love, because I'm almost 30 and I'm not going to work there forever. So that's kind of my why and how it's transformed. So we'll see what happens in the fall.
It's awesome. It's going to happen. I know it. All right. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go really quick and then we can hop off. These calls won't normally be this long, but I think it's awesome. We're getting to hear from everyone. I feel like I'm getting to know you all even more, which is awesome. So quick background. When I first started Beachbody in a challenge group with Carolyn, she had invited me a ton of times. I said, no. And then I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And the reason I said yes finally is because I had gotten out of a really, really bad relationship. It created a lot of anxiety for me. It caused me to not take care of myself. I was going out and drinking every weekend, pretty much working for the paycheck and then spending it on the weekend, going out with friends, not having quality relationships. Had let my health go. I gained weight in addition to college weight that never really went away. Did my first challenge group, got amazing results, and just felt good again. And having something else to focus on besides how heartbroken I was over this terrible relationship, and seeing what's possible with my body if I take care of it, and how I felt, my anxiety was lowered. It was just incredible. And I didn't sign on to coach right away because I had a lot of self-doubt and fear around it, and I didn't think that I could do this. I mean, I already had a job. I had a degree in accounting. Why was I going to be a health and fitness coach? Who would trust me? Why am I credible? Who would do that, right? So after watching Carolyn's journey for a while and some other coaches, I was like, people just seem to be doing this and they're having success. I love health and fitness, love the programs, love the products. I'm going to give it a try. And we won't talk about my first time where I was like, I tried, didn't do anything, didn't invite. Why didn't I have success, right? So a couple months later, I was like, okay, I'm actually really going to do this. And so my why initially was kind of just to push myself out of my comfort zone and immerse myself in this awesome Beachbody community where I had already seen such awesome improvements in my own personal life and my own personal health. And I really liked that because the friends that I was hanging out with, they really didn't have any interest in doing anything besides going to their day job that they didn't like and going out on the weekends. And I needed more than that. I wanted more of a purpose. I wanted to surround myself with people that were going to push me to be better. So that was the first part of my why, was the community and just, you know, being around people that make you want to be better. And then from there, I saw that these awesome people I was surrounding myself with were growing an income and basically following their passions, and people were leaving their full-time jobs. And I was like, what? And, you know, I would never have admitted it to anyone, but I hated my job. I really did. It was really rough. And seeing people and the potential to leave their full-time job, I was like, okay, that's pretty awesome. And from there, over time, I mean, I wanted to leave my full-time job. I was taking some actions, having some success, but they weren't matching this goal I had to be financially free and replace my accounting income. Now, my vision has changed because I've been so consistent in my personal development and, you know, just surrounding myself with people like you and going to Summit and things like that, where I am just taking all the limits off of, you know, the limits I put on myself. And I'm saying, you know what, why not? Why not me? Why couldn't I make 6 figures with this business? And it's not really so much about that dollar amount. For me, it's about what that dollar amount will allow me to do with my life. As you know, I'm getting married and I also have student debt. Christian has student debt. We just got 2 new kittens. We have a lot of expenses in our lives. And to take the stress away of, you know, planning a wedding, paying for a wedding, that would be amazing. I don't want us to get married and be $30,000 in debt because we had this amazing wedding, but we couldn't afford it. So having the freedom to do things like that, even further down the road, when we have kids, I mean, when I got kittens, going to work was a struggle. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to leave these little adorable things. So when I have kids, like, hell no, I don't want to go to work. I'm going to be like, no. So, I mean, some people can totally balance working and having kids. I just don't see myself being one of them. I'm struggling with kittens. So for me, I see the potential that this business is going to give me, and it's going to allow me to be home with my kids, and it's going to allow me and Christian to live like our happiest lives because, you know, we're both happy with our own individual endeavors. And if I am going to work and coming home every day unhappy because I'm not fulfilled, that doesn't add value to him. It doesn't add value to our future marriage, doesn't add value to our kids. I don't want our kids to see us arguing about money. I don't want our kids to see that I'm unhappy. And so for me, this business has just really been a way to ignite my passion and step out of my comfort zone continually. And I think that's my biggest why, is constantly surprising myself and just taking the limits off, because I had so many on myself from just growing up and what people tell you, what, you know, teachers tell you. And if you're a people pleaser, you want to live up to people's expectations. But unfortunately, that puts you in a box. And when you open that box and you kind of like step out of it and start doing your own thing, it helps you build so much confidence. And I never thought I could have that confidence. So my why comes down to becoming my most confident self and happiest self, so I can like permeate that into all areas of my life, my relationships, future kids, and just have the freedom to be happy and show up the best that I can in every area of my life, which this business and all of you have played a role in. So that's kind of my why, is just to be the happiest, healthiest self I can be and help others do that same thing, and in turn build an income that is going to allow me to continue doing that every day on my terms without having to report to a boss. So yeah, I was long-winded and I talked really fast, but it's 7:08, so thank you for listening.
No, thanks for sharing that. Does anyone else have anything else that they want to, like, have any questions or anything else they want to share? We have like 4 more minutes.
Until this thing kicks us out again.
Yeah, it doesn't like us.
Just really quick, from listening to everyone share their whys, there was, in the general sense, one common why, and that's we all want to work on ourselves. We all want to improve ourselves, be healthier, be happier, and for all the struggles that we're going to experience in this business, I think it's important to, yes, remember your why, whether it's also financial freedom and, you know, being able to be home and spend time with your kids and retiring your husband, whatever it is. It's also, in generally speaking, just being your best self. So when people are telling you no, when you're not hitting Success Club like you want, whatever it is, just remember, you started this for a reason. You do want to be here, even when it kind of sucks, because deep down, this makes you happy. It makes you better. It makes you physically better. It makes you mentally better. And also, we love having you here. So, something just to think about.
Oh, Sarah, I couldn't have closed it better myself. You're awesome. Yeah, and I totally agree with what Sarah said. And remember, like, if you're having those days where you're having self-doubt or you're getting a lot of rejection and you're frustrated, we are all here. You know, we're all here for each other. Reach out to your coach, reach out to anyone on this team. I think we would all welcome you with open arms. Don't be shy. We want this to be an awesome community. It already is. So we're all here for everybody.
Sorry, one last thing. Going back to rejection, no matter how many you get, remember that you said yes. You said yes eventually, and so you will get other yeses eventually.
Exactly. And I see some people on this call I had to invite quite a few times.
You guys all know what your objections were.
So don't be surprised when you're getting them too.
Right, embrace those, embrace them. But I'm glad everyone got on here, and sorry that it's late, but I thought it was important that we all kind of get on here and share our whys. I do want to take a picture of all of us, if that's okay with everyone.
I already snuck one.
You did?
Yeah.
All right. If everyone wants to, let me see if I can get this on here with my big screen. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it.
Okay, send that to me.
I'll send it.
All right, bye guys. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.